Hi and welcome. My name is Johnny Fergan. I'm from All Total Coaching. What I want to talk to you today is about the upcoming recession and GFC number 2. This may be a very heavy topic, but today I'll give you resources and I'll explain to you why we're heading into a massive recession. And those that don't understand that will be losing thousands of $10,000s or probably millions of dollars if they don't take appropriate action. Everything that I will speak about today, I'll give you links below so you can research further. And you can see that everything I'm about to say is correct. And it's not if it will happen, it's when. But before we start, I'd like to say that I had to remove videos on the suicide of a friend because of a family member that asked to do so. But anybody that wants to know more information on those issues of depression and how to overcome depression, we have it in our program, What Your Father Never Taught You, How to Become a Man. It's on sale now, and it's being, as I'm talking, it's being edited and will be coming for sale to you. And this will change anybody's life. It's extremely controversial. But I'll tell you one little thing, you've never seen anything like it in your life. I'm not trying to drum my ticket here, I'm just telling you the truth. In our program we talk about the following: manhood, what it is to be a man, how to be a man, women, relationships and sex, media manipulation, indoctrination via the movies, health, food and exercise and why it's so important, money, wealth, what you need to know, what you're not taught at school, value, what it is and why it's so important, how to overcome the biggest phenomena in our generation of depression and fear and why so many people commit suicide, happiness and fulfillment, feminism and the real truth. That's the main thing. We've got subtitles, but today I want to talk about an extremely important topic, about the coming of the collapse of all stock markets, all bourses across the world, in Australia, in the US, emerging markets, you name it. We can't talk on a daily basis because the market's extremely volatile at the moment. But today I'm going to bring you a few graphs that you can look for yourself, and I'll put links below so you can actually see this for yourself. Why we're on a cliff that is going to burst anytime soon. For starters, I'm going to bring you today now the Dow Jones Industrial Average in the last 100 years. And here it is. Now, if you look at this is 1929 before the crash, the famous one, and look where it went. 1966, the crash of 1987, that's recent history. The currency crisis, the Asian currency crisis, the dot-com bubble, the subsequent crash. Then, before the housing bubble, the GFC, and now we exceeded more. If you look at the graph, every boom's gonna bust. We're literally sitting on a cliff. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I hope you can see it, but I will put links below to support everything I just said. Now, we're going to the NASDAQ in the last 50 years. And this is painting a similar picture. 87 crisis, the crash of 87, currency crisis, the dot-com bubble, the crash, 2000 housing bubble, GFC, and now we exceeded, we're literally, evaluations are stretched, and anybody with a bit of brains knows that we're just on the verge of collapse. But today we're going to talk about prominent people that I've been following, talking about a crash that will happen that nobody knows when, but it will happen in time. Mike Molyneux, Jeff Berwick, the Dollar Vigilante, and many, many more, and I'll put links to support my view. But I'd like to bring your attention from JP Morgan. JP Morgan said just a few weeks back, warns next crisis to have flash crashes and social unrest not seen in 50 years. JP Morgan top Marco Kollenbach predicts a great liquidity crisis will hit the financial markets by flash crashes in stock price and social unrest. The $1 trillion shift into massive investments computerized trading and strategies and electronic trading desks will exacerbate sudden, severe stock drops. Cabinet said central banks will be forced to make unprecedented moves, including direct purchase of equities, or there will be even more negative income taxes. Timing of when the next crisis will occur is uncertain, as in the short term it may seem to be safe, though the crisis may hit in early 2019. Sudden, severe stock sell-off sparked by lightning-fast machine, unprecedented action by central banks to shore up asset prices, social unrest not seen in the US in half a century. That's how JP Morgan Chase head Marco Columbix envisions the next financial crisis. The forces have been transformed markets in the last decade, namely the rise of computerized trading and passive investing set up conditions for potentially violent moves once the current bull market ends, according to the report from Clavenet sent the bank's clients on Tuesday. His note is in a 168-page mega report written on the 10th anniversary of 2008 financial crisis, with perspective from 48 banks, analysts and commitments. Callum Dix, a 43-year-old analyst with PhD in theoretical physics, has risen to prominence, and he explains or predicting the new algorithm dominated stock markets will behave when the current bull markets, the longest in modern history by some measures, have seen. And he talks about how the markets will crash sooner or later. I'll put a link below to support what he just said. But not only that. In Australia, the Senate passed a bill that they can seize your money. Yes, you heard it. Few new quietly on 14th of February 2018, with 7 senators present, the financial legislative amendments have passed law into action. You're likely not to see any press on this action. This is a very long, complicated piece of legislation, but its very core brings it into Australia into line with bail in an agenda of the Bank of International Bank Settlement as agreed on the G20 in Brisbane in 2014. Bail isn't about the government not bailing out distressed institutions, as we saw GFC, using taxpayers' money instead, rather using the creditors of the bank to bail itself, meaning that if you have money in the bank, they can seize your funds and not give it you. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but why would the government pass laws like this unless they knew something may happen? The legislation allows a banking regulation after a crisis to secretly step in and run distressed banks. It allows APRA then to confiscate and write off certain types of bonds and hybrid securities and allow them to confiscate cash savings of SMSS whereas else in the world, including our neighbors New Zealand, in other words, they're able to take your money and use it to bail out the banks. Now this is something you will never hear in mainstream media, and very, very little has been written on it. And you may think you're thinking this is far-fetched. Well, let me tell you, my dear friends, nobody saw the GFC in 2008 when it happened. Nobody thought they'll borrow money and then the banks will confiscate the properties in 2007, 2008. But it happened. We are sitting on a massive, massive bubble. And you can laugh at this video now, but I will bring this video to light when this next financial crisis comes, and you will realize that everything I'm about to say and I just said is correct. When will it happen? I don't know. But I'm warning you, this is about to happen. And when it happens, if you're exposed, you are going to be decimated. Whether you've got money in the bank or you've got money in the financial markets. My clear and little understandings is take your money and put it wherever you want to put it, but don't put it in financial institutions, because when the next GFC will happen, and it will happen, because the debt that we had in 2008 has quadrupled since then. You can look up the debt levels. It's not sustainable. It's not if it's going to collapse, it's when. And already many financial analysis like Jeff Berwick and the Dollar Vigilante and many others are warning of the financial crisis just being around the corner. Jim Rogers is another one. Look him up and just type in Google the next financial crisis and you'll see it. Next, go into 60 Minutes Australia, Crisis, Bricks and Slaughter. 2 series of exposing Australia's housing crisis and its ultimate collapse. Stage 1. The big people, the smart people, get out of the market. Late 2017, early 2018. Stage 2, it's in the media. They talk about it like 60 Minutes, like you've seen now, a bit of articles about it. Stage 3, sob stories. People losing the money and people panicking and selling. And then stage 4 is the ultimate collapse. And the substitutes of the banks taking your money and everybody else's money without knowing. And all this is said without me even talking about the interest rates. Interest rates have been the lowest in the last 30 to 40 years. Where do you think the interest rate's going to go? And once interest rates go up, I don't have to tell you what's going to happen. I really hope you found this beneficiary. I'll put links to everything I just mentioned. Mike Maloney, Jeff Berwick, Jim Rogers, etc. and JP Morgan, the report I just mentioned now, and about that the banks have got access and can take every dollar that you have in your bank without notice. I don't know when, I don't know exactly what will happen. But my personal view is we're going into rough waters. And if you don't prepare yourself for this, you're going to sink. And this is by all means not a warning. This is a real thing that will happen. I will bring this video to light again in the future when people mock me and when I'll say, I told you. Thank you very much for listening. As always, you know who I am? I'm John, if again your friend. Look us up at www.alltotalcoaching.com. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.